Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. So in this video we are going to take a look at how the new strength Videl performs in the Extreme Super Battle Road stage for Peppy girls. So usually I run a Super Battle Road and an Extreme Battle Road stage. Kind of felt it was only really necessary to test Videl in the Extreme Battle Road stage. I don't really think there's a point testing her in the normal Peppy girls Super Battle Road stage. And the only other stage you can really do is the Superclass stage, which is also quite outdated. Maybe I'll take her in there, maybe I won't, we'll see how it goes. But we're going to try her in the Extreme Class Peppy girls Super Battle Road stage. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously the Extreme Super Battle Road stage for the Peppy girls is pretty tough. It's pretty difficult stage, it's not necessarily the easiest one, and it can surprise a lot of people, especially since before Videl we only had 120% leads, and they still hit pretty hard. But we have some really good options under the team. For Videl, we're basically just going to line her up with the Brianna, who is a Peppy girl support, so they're going to be a really solid duo together. And then on the other rotation, we're going to have the Tech, Caulifla, and the Strength Kale. And Chi-Chi and Launch are just going to kind of float around, doing the best damage that they can. And of course, sealing up the opposition and just nerfing them, you know, lowering their attack, lowering their defense, and just kind of keeping everything well sustained. As you can see there, that is Chi-Chi taking 60k damage from a normal. So as you can see, they do hit pretty hard here. There was an item active. So yeah, it is pretty tough. But we got Videl here, 134,000 defense. She is getting that support from Brianna, but we should see some decent offensive numbers from her. One of the things the Peppy girls team does lack is damage. There's not a lot of big damage dealers, so having Videl provide some damage is going to be a really good hole to fill in this team. Plus she's one of the better defensive units. Obviously it's very difficult to stop the defensive performance of units like Kale and Caulifla. They're both obviously very powerful, they're very strong, but Videl does really well. 2 million or so attacks right there. She got the effective against all types active as well, which really helps out. And then obviously we can seal up the rest of the rotation, put them under some control there, which is really good. Obviously we did have an item active this turn, but Videl took double digits from the damage, so yeah, pretty good overall. I'm not too concerned about completing the stage. As you guys know, I've done all of the Extreme Super Battle Road stages, but Videl will probably make a free-to-play or a more free-to-play friendly run possible in terms of the stage, so I might try that and update my my guide, just so people can have a bit more of an updated, you know, easier team to build, because I use the Universe 6 team, which is quite specific. It obviously did it very, very easily, but yeah, we'll see if we can make a slightly better team, just one that's a bit easier to use. Obviously, Brianna's not free to play, but she is a unit you can pick up with the tickets. Hopefully you can grab a copy of her from the Worldwide Celebration campaign, and she is really awesome. So Peppy girls is one of those great free-to-play teams, or teams that has a lot of great free-to-play options. You've got the Strength Brianna, you've got the AGL Kakunsa, you've got the Rosie, which are all great. Then you've got a bunch of great ticket options like Brianna and Launch. So yeah, pretty solid team that you can build. Launch is doing a pretty decent job here. She's just sealing up the enemy and then lowering their attack and defense. You're not going to be able to do too much damage. She fires like 3 attacks. It's really great, and yeah, just really awesome. But as you can see, a lot of these units don't do massive damage. Most of them are sitting around 1 million, 1.2 million, 1.3 million. So Videl with her, you know, 2 million, double 2 million attacks that can have effective against all types, she really brings a huge amount of damage. The only issue on the Peppy girls team really for Videl is that she can't activate her active skill or her unit super attack, which is a little bit of a shame, but beyond that it's really not that much of an issue. So really it's, you know, it's quite okay. So yeah, we've got Videl doing some really good damage, as you can see right here. So yeah, she's doing her job, and defensively she's been more than fine. Obviously we haven't seen her take a super attack or anything, but she is taking double digits from a AGL type unit with items active, which is fair enough on an extreme super battle road stage. That's a good sign of how strong her defense is. So yeah, overall really quite happy with how Videl is performing. I think she's good in pretty much any event. I think she's perfectly fine. The only issue is her teams. So there's very few teams that she can be on that can run long form events. There is a Peppy girls team that you can use to run long form events. Rosie and Kakunsa stack their defense, and Tech, Caulifla and the Strength Kale really do just kind of like are almost invincible together really on like a Peppy girls or Pure Sands team. So that is something that they have going for them. But of course, you know, the main thing with Videl is just she really only has those two teams. Martian Brew Saga is really strong for her. Defenders of Justice is a fun team, but it's not necessarily a powerful team just yet. It needs one or two pieces to come together for it to really be a super duper strong team. And it's more just some gluing units, some sticking units, maybe a support here or there, maybe a stacking unit, just some variety. It's got strong units in the form of like Jiren and units like that are really strong, that can link with each other, that you can put on the team, but really there's no cohesion between, you know, like units like Jiren and units like Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, barring maybe like a signature pose, but Jiren doesn't have that link, I believe. So yeah, that's really her main issue, but beyond that she's perfectly fine. So we get the evasion here, and she's going to dish out some good damage. Then we'll move on to the second fight. Right off the bat, we don't finish the stage. As always, I'm not gonna bother just finishing the stage for the sake of finishing the stage. I like to sometimes see how units take damage without items, and to do that sometimes means the rest of the rotation, like even if Videl doesn't take damage, the rest of the rotation will probably take damage. So you can kind of see how that causes an issue if you're trying to showcase more than one turn. But I think it's great to see that. So usually I'll run a couple turns, the first two fights or so, and then we'll just let the unit basically take damage and see what happens. If we survive, I'll repair and finish the stage. If not, we just let it be. We've been trying to get the Dokkan attack with Videl. Unfortunately, we're not going to manage to do that, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, Videl so far, absolutely fantastic. Been perfectly fine on defense. Obviously, haven't seen her take a super attack or anything, but she has been more than fine. And then, of course, we have seen great offensive output from her. I mean, yeah, she is paired with a constant support, but I mean, I think it's fair enough considering she doesn't have the best linking partner, so I think leaving her with a constant support is more than fine. It just allows her to do her business, and Ribrianne's the kind of unit that really can just sit in that slot. Ribrianne could have a better partner and could really produce some crazy damage, but it's not necessarily needed entirely. And Chi-Chi is doing great. She's obviously a little bit weak defensively, as you can see, but you know, it's important to have units like Chi-Chi. She seals. She provides a lot of defense the rest of the rotation. She probably saves us a lot more damage than she takes. So realistically, a really good option. And then here we're going to have, you know, the Oceania Shenron is a great option as well. The way she seals, stuns, fires multiple super attacks, debuffs. She just does a lot, which is great, of course. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that we're just going to miss out on the Dokkan attack with Videl. It would have been nice to see her potentially take out an entire rotation or something like that, but I mean, it's okay. So we'll see him fire the super attack here. Videl will take it. There's an item active. 84k from a type neutral super attack is more than fine. Really not that bad damage at all. So that's a really good sign. This is a 69% Videl. So it's not a rainbow Videl, it's not 55%, it's with one dupe. But 84k is really nothing. It's not a lot of damage at all. It's really not something that causes concern. So on that end, really quite happy with the amount of damage that Videl took there. I think that's a good sign. Obviously, if she got hit by an AGL unit, she'd probably be looking at taking about 140-ish K or so, which is, a fair chunk. But at the same time, she wasn't able to stack her, super attacks or anything. Had she done those, she probably would have taken a lot less, way, way less. So overall, that's perfectly fine. That's literally her getting hit in the worst scenario for herself, and that's perfectly acceptable. So defensively, she's more than good to go. You obviously will need to activate an item, but you need to do that anyway. And then, offensively, she's been the best unit on the team. Strength Kale is also very impressive. I think not a lot of people realize how impressive Strength Kale is as a unit, especially when she's paired with Caulifla. But Strength Kale is pretty impressive, but Videl's out damaging her at 69%. This is like a 3 dupe Kale, so to be fair, it is just how it is. And Videl's damage is really, how do I say, not even, like, we can't even get to the full extent of her damage on this team. One, we're not even under proper leads, and two, we don't have, a Gohan Go 10 type thing. A Gohan Great Saiyaman on the team, so we can't really activate that full true extent, which is fine. It's fine because Videl's still doing the best offensively. So really, really impressed with her showing so far. And then other than that, I think we've seen everything we need to see. So what we'll do is we'll finish off this round, and then we'll start the next round, and we'll have Videl take an attack without an item, and then we'll just leave it at that, just so you guys can see how much damage she takes, or if she does take damage, if her evasion kicks, and just get a good idea of what Videl's packing, which I think is great from that aspect. And then we'll just see where we go to from there. If we survive the turn or not, we won't, just full disclaimer. But it'll still be good to see. So we're gonna let Videl go here. Let her go off. See if she can get Vegeta out the way. And then we'll obviously let Ribrianne seal up that Gohan. And then just in case, we'll have Chi-Chi seal up the Vegeta. So I don't know how you guys have been finding Videl. You can let me know in the comments. I know some of you have summoned and got Videl. I'm very lucky for that, so I think that's great. You can really see that damage is really just, those double super attacks also are just so good. I think I think she's great. I think even though she's limited, she's super powerful, and I think that's really awesome. The only problem with Videl is just she's one of those units that I think will just get lost in the friend system, and like not a lot of people are going to keep Videls up as their friend. Not a lot of people are going to be using Videls after a while, and she might just be one of those units that's kind of hard to find. And that generally does happen to the units that fall between the anniversary and the worldwide celebration. It's just one of those things, because obviously you get this huge hype at anniversary and you get this huge hype of the worldwide celebration, and then that's kind of like how it works. So I think that's alright. I think that's okay to happen. Like, it is one of those things. Then Oceania Shenron, finishing things off here, so we'll move into the next fight, and we'll be able to, like I said, get a good look at Videl, taking some damage without an item. So Indribrian will be nerfing their attack and defense a little bit. That's how Indribrian works. She will lower their attack and defense up to a max of 30%, I believe, which is quite a lot, but that is just how Ribrian is. But we're not going to activate any other items, so we'll get a good idea of how Videl performs, and that'll probably be it for the video. So we'll get a good idea of her damage, a good idea of how she performs, and then we'll call it there more than likely. In terms of defense, she's got 134k, which is a very solid amount, especially since there's a 170 lead and 120, so it's very solid. Triple evasion, so there you go. We're not even going to see her get hit, which is fine. I mean, that's part of her defensive toolkit, so really it's nothing to complain about. It's just part of her defense, and that just shows how good it is. And then we'll take some normals here, but she stacked her defense, so she's not going to take anything. And I think that's a good enough showcase from Videl. I think we've seen everything we need to see. and yeah, perfectly happy with that. So that's kind of it from us, guys. But as always, thank you guys for, yep, definitely is from us. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments how you're finding Videl below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, stay safe. Cheers and bye.